Hey guys, I'm Greg with Quantum Machinery, and this is our Nargesa MS20 laser welder. This is 2 kilowatts or 2000 watts, 16 amp, and it runs on 220 volt single phase power. This is going to come completely ready to use right out of the box. The only thing you're going to have to provide is the welding wire of choice and then the gas of choice for the welding you're going to be doing. Then of course you do have to put on the power outlet on the power cable for the appropriate setup in your shop. This is a dual wire feed system. So up top you do have dual rollers, so you can feed dual wire at the same time, or you can have different wires if you want to run single runs, and you can have stainless in one side or mild steel in the other. It will do aluminum because it has an 8 roller drive system. Basically you have 4 rollers per side on each spool to help feed the wire, and it does come with all the dies you're going to need for any type of wire you're going to be running through the machine. If you notice up front, we have a 7-inch touchscreen, and this has the Industry 4.0 technology, which means you can save up to 10,000 programs, and it also is able to back up those programs or add new programs through the USB drive right on the front of the machine. Then on the opposite side of the machine, we have an Ethernet port. This is used so if you have a problem, if a problem does arise with the system, you can have a customer support remote into the system and not have to send a technician to the side of the machine, helping you to get back running quicker and get products made faster. It does have a key on the front of the machine that'll allow the machine not to fire, just in case you're wanting to give the keys to the authorized users for safety. They did take safety in consideration a ton with this machine. You do have the light up on top, which will notify people in the surrounding areas that this machine is on and is welding. And then you have the key switch as well, a e-stop on the front of the machine. Then you can also wire up, if you're using a weld cell, you can wire up and have it where the doors of the weld cell has to be closed before the machine will start to run. When talking about safety, PPE is important. You want to wear welding gloves, you want to wear a laser approved welding helmet, and then we highly recommend being in a weld cell or in your own area where someone can't get in the way, just in case a ricochet was to happen from the laser, because this is a very powerful 2 kilowatt laser and it can burn things in its path if you're not aiming the torch in the right direction. One cool feature is you can swivel the top unit. This is where all the wire feed is housed, and it has a switch over here that we can flip and easily swivel the top unit. Maybe the torch lead isn't pointing in the right direction that you want. It'll allow you to have less pull on the torch handle. You can also take off the top box and place it on the ground, because they did install casters on this, so they come pre-installed. Just in case you're working in a confined space and you can't fit the entire system in, you can just pull off this top box. It has a long cable that'll allow you to have it in a separate area. Another safety feature is they do have a grounding strap. Now this isn't needed for welding, but it is needed for safety. So the material has to be grounded to let the machine know that the gun can only fire on that piece of equipment. So if you're welding a piece of sheet metal, you're going to ground to that sheet metal, and the laser will only fire on that piece of sheet metal that has the safety ground grounded to it. This does have an incorporated bottle stand right on the back. A lot of laser welders do not, and this is a liquid cooled unit that comes pre-filled with distilled water ready to go right out of the box. So you don't have to worry about coolant. It's going to have it ready. So other than the wire, the gas, and putting the appropriate plug on, you're going to be able to weld in just a few minutes of receiving the Nargesa MS20. There is also an accessory drawer on the side of the box that comes with a ton of rollers for every different type of material you may be using. It comes with all kinds of replacement tips, and it has room to expand your accessories and consumables right on the side of the cabinet. It comes with extra lenses for the gun, because you can burn out lenses over time. And it comes with some tape so you can recalibrate the gun just in case you drop it. Because it's very important that you take care of the gun as best as possible. Try not to drop it, because you will have to recalibrate it, because this is lasers and it uses focal points inside the gun. That's very important to take care of this product and not bash it around. When we're talking about the torch, it is very ergonomical. You can see you can use it with one hand or two, whatever's comfortable. And you can also switch out those lenses right on top with a quick change feature. You can use a thumb screw, you can slide it out, and you can replace that lens just in case it gets damaged or dirty. This is a dual lens system. The outer one is the more consumable. That's going to be in direct line of any dust or dirt or any sparks. So that's going to be the one you can change out really quickly and easily. And when we're talking about what thickness of steel and aluminum you can weld, steel and stainless steel, we can penetrate up to 1/4 inch of material. And then the aluminum, we can penetrate up to 3/16. So this is very capable. This is extremely useful for mass production. If you have assembly line, you need to get people making parts extremely fast with consistency. That's where a laser is going to come in handy. Another big thing with this machine is training. You're not going to need to train someone for weeks on how to use this machine. You can literally take someone that has never welded and be able to have them welding beautiful beads within an hour of getting this machine. That's the importance to laser. It kind of takes all the work out of it, especially this Nargesa MS20, because it comes with all the parameters already preset. So if you're welding steel, stainless steel, aluminum, it doesn't matter. It has all the parameters in this 4.0 technology on the 7-inch touchscreen. So you're not going to have to worry about how to set up the machine properly to weld the materials that you have. So we're going to get on the weld table. We're going to show you how to go through the setup on the machine to get ready to weld, and we're going to throw some beads down on some mild steel. So we're going to go over the controls to get started welding on the MS20. So first, of course, you're going to turn on the main power switch on the back left side of the unit. Then make sure your e-stop is not engaged. Then we can go over to our main screen, the 7-inch touchscreen. So down here in the bottom left corner, we can select what we want to do with the machine. We can select cut, weld, or clean. And in this case, we're going to select weld. You do have to have the appropriate tip already installed onto the gun before selecting cut or clean, or it will give you an error screen. So on this screen, we can select our material from the listings. You can select what type of material, the thickness, all the parameters that are already preset into the machine. Once those are selected, we can hit the green arrow and it'll take us back to the main welding screen. You can also select wire spool A or B, and to be able to change the materials that's in those wire spools and turn them on and off as well, because you can dual feed or single feed on this machine. You'll notice at the bottom we have a light bulb. If we hit that, inside the upper cabinet, we're going to have some LED lights to help you see to change out rollers as well as the rolls of wires. Now we have a laser button in the middle bottom. This is going to be your guide laser on the gun. It's going to help you see where the tip of the gun is pointing. And then next to that, we have our pulse feature. A pulse feature is going to give you a more traditional looking weld like you would get out of a TIG or a MIG. It's going to do a fast pulsing and be able to give you that pattern if you want to have that look. And sometimes you can get better penetration, or you may like that feature better during welding. You will see a lower power button, and that's to get rid of any error codes that you may have. Once you hit the e-stop, it'll notify you that the e-stop's been hit. We can release it, and then before we can power on the machine, we have to hit the lower power button to clear the codes. Then we can hit the upper power button that's going to allow us to go weld. There is a ton of information to go through on this 7-inch touchscreen because of the Industry 4.0 technology. We'll make a separate video where we describe all the screens so you have a full breakdown of these menus. Thank you guys so much for checking out the Nargesa MS20 laser welder. You can find this on quantummachinery.com. This is going to be a game changer for your factory or your shop. This will mass produce. It's made to work all day. This is an industrial laser unit that is not going to let you down. So stay safe and keep on fabricating.
If you're a fabricator, you've definitely asked yourself, where can I buy precision metalworking equipment? From welding tables, laser welders, press brakes, shears, industrial saws, and benders, Quantum Machinery Group has you covered.